Last episode, SailOrSink found himself washed ashore on the Pandemonium. While on the Pandemonium, he completed a series of tasks that allowed him to progress further and was eventually able to afford the most grand ship of them all, a sloop. With this sloop, SailOrSink is almost ready to expand his unlocked chunks, but first, he has a few tasks to complete. Before we get started, I want to make a few important announcements. Earlier this month, I created a survey and received feedback on how you guys felt about certain topics regarding the future of this account, and the survey has since been completed and the results have been recorded. If you want to see the results and its implications on the account, you can check it out right here. Regarding the survey and the account rule set, I want to say I have raised the proposed drop rate cap from 1 in 5k to 1 in 20k. This matches the Dragon Battle drop rate, and despite the 4 times increase in the drop rate cap, it shouldn't change anything too much. One final note is that in the time between me recording the previous video and this video, the chunk picker map, which is where I source a lot of my information from, was updated to accommodate the sailing update. Therefore, some tasks were added that I completely missed out on when coming up with my task list for the last episode. These new tasks will be added and completed before rolling my next chunk. Anyways, enjoy the video. Well, I'm fletching maple logs now because I got myself the 12.5 roughly thousand maple logs that would take me to get to level 72 fletching. After this, I'm going to be going back to chopping more logs because I do need to get myself level 60 fire making, which is a lot faster now that I have actually like decent wood cutting level. Then after that, I'm going to have to be doing a bunch of salvaging, which is actually going to take me maybe 100 or so hours, because I do need to get to level 49 smithing, and that's gonna suck. Where is it? 34 to 49 smithing. Here we go, the last one right here. We have level 72 fletching, and perfect, because we only have 180 log. Oopsies. Yeah, I'm gonna sell the rest of these and then go back and get my U shield, because I now have level 72 fletching. And then I think I'm going to go straight for level 60 fire making, which really should not be that long. Yeah, just like that, 392k. Alright, 2 logs there, 1, 2, shield, fletch, and we got ourselves a U shield, 150 experience. And there we go. We have, I can't even equip it, level 40 defense? We have just reached the point of getting level 60 fire making, and it took me about roughly 10 hours, just over 10 hours, and that includes chopping all the maple logs. So that alone was about 7.5 hours plus the 2.5 of like burning all the logs previously. So anyways, 60 fire making right there. And if I head over here and chop this yew tree, there's our log, burn this, and there we go. 202 fire making experience, and that is our 4th task done of this chunk, or 3rd. They updated the chunk picker. With the chunk picker, one of the tasks is to get shark paint. The only time I can get shark paint if I do the notice task right here. The only tasks I can do are the Pandemonium bull shark bounties. All of the rest of these I cannot do because they're all outside of the chunks that I'm in. These were set once every day. I don't think they roll back-to-back bull shark bounties. So once every day I need to roll a 1 in 35 of getting the shark paint. Theoretically, this could take more than a month to complete. Here we are with number 2. Ooh, halberd. Runelight says this is my 3rd halberd drop from the bull sharks, but here we go. Like, just to prove that the task is completed. Adamant halberd, wielded, 15 strength, completed. And I'm actually going to... No, I'm going to save this, actually. I want to try something. I want to see how long it would take for me to kill a bull shark. So it looks like I really can't... Oh, hold on. This might... Here we go. Oh, he just runs away? What? He just ran away as soon as I poked him for a 0. So I'm going to do a couple of thousand salvage. Should take only a couple of hours to sort through all of this. And I'll be back. And actually, might as well just spend the extra time to get myself the sloop iron keel. I do need to complete the iron keel for the sloop, which is what we'll be doing now. I do have 11 large iron keel parts. Need 5 more, which is, what, 125 iron bars, 25 each for per keel. So I'm going to be doing that now. I do need to fill in these holes, which I just realized you don't actually need the hunter level to fill the hole. You just need to build the hole to complete the task. And then there's also other things. I needed to make a few steel items, which should be very quick. I do need to get a little bit more higher smithing for that. But with these iron bars and the, what was it, like 1.2k bronze bars I have in my bank, I should get like a pretty respectable smithing level, like maybe 41, 42, and make myself pretty much every steel item that I need, except for the plate body and kite shield, if I had to guess. One thing that I forgot to show or even talk about was the fact that I have a raft I need to upgrade. So upgrading the one and only facility on the raft, replace it with a oak cargo hold, build, and there we go. Now our raft is fully completed. I didn't show it being made, but as you can see, iron helm currently built for the raft. So that's 2 out of 2 best in slot facilities for the raft. And here we are. Yes. And that is another task complete for our chunk. And now I'm going to head over to the shipyard and build ourselves the final upgrade for the sloop. So 16 large iron keel parts, build. Which means that our sloop is now completely upgraded, completely kitted out with the best possible gear that we have available to us. 2 iron cannons, 2 salvaging hooks, the iron helm, and the iron keel. We save so much more health now that we have the iron keel, because usually it was like half health we already lost due to a bull shark, but now it's, you know, a little bit better than that. 75 out of 110. What do we get? Nice. Because we lose so much less health compared to before, we do save ourselves on money and repair kit materials, so oak planks, swamp paste, and stuff like that. So that's actually really good. And despite the fact I finished my task, I'm still gonna stick around because I'm currently at 70 KC of bull sharks, but I have yet to get myself a rune dagger, which is a 1 in 33.3, and that is the last item I need from a bull shark in order to complete all the tasks. I still need to get the levels for 40 attack and 30 defense and things like that. 46, I think it was range for the animate crossbow. I still get the stats, but the actual items themselves, I do have all of them that I need except for that rune dagger. So hopefully within these next few kills, I can get that rune dagger. Port task, redeem claim rewards. No! Yeah, you can see I don't have the task yet. Ospreys I don't have access to. Port tasks I can't get to because wherever this is supposed to go to, I don't have access to any of these. So I have to wait until midnight UTC for these things to refresh. Right now it's 7:42. So there's nothing I could do for many hours. Been doing a little bit of smithing, and I just finished up all my, what was it, like 1200 bronze bars. I'm not sure exactly what to do with the rest of the iron bars. I really do want to use them to smith them for the experience, because this is about like 3,500, 4,000 smithing experience just sitting there. And I think the best way to deal with these iron bars is to make them into iron plate bodies and then sell them at the charter ship over there, because I don't need anything for the ships now that they're all upgraded. With all those iron bars, I get myself around like 625 of them. But right now, I'm going to do a few tasks, and I'm about to hit level 42, but with level 41, I can make quite a few steel items, which is what I'm going to be doing right now. So first of all, make one just in case I don't make any extras. First task, create steel medium helmets. Best in slot range dead, create. Next up is the, where is it? Chain body. Best in slot range body, create. Square shield is best in slot offhand for range as well. Create. And that does get me, oh my god, I'm only 56 XP away. And these are for the kite shield. No! Alright, give me 1 second, hold on. With level 42 smithing, we are now halfway until 49 smithing, which is our goal for the unfinished bullseye lantern. But with level 42 smithing specifically, we can make steel kite shield, which is a task. So using the steel bar and the anvil, we can make ourselves a steel kite shield. And not only that, we do to make ourselves a bolts. Where is it? Bolts right here. The steel bolts right there. They're unfinished. I need to fletch them here. Bang. Steel bolts. That is another task completed. And if we look at our character, he's going to look a little goofy, but depending 30 defense, this is our best ranged armor by far. If we're going to double this, 90,000, we need 45,000. Let's just call it, on the safe side, 20,000 salvages. 20,000 salvages is going to take us around 55, maybe 60 hours of salvaging, AFK salvaging. Between that, there's that, and the cooking that I need to do. That's the only 2 longer term grinds I need to do. I'm sure I can knock out 40 attack and the rest of the defense requirements in a couple of hours. That shouldn't be too bad. But we are getting very close to be able to roll our next chunk. Several hundred kills later down here against the rats and the spiders, I got myself level 30 defense, which does now mean we can equip ourselves the adamant plate legs, which is the best in slot for melee, and the snakeskin chaps, which is the best in slot for ranged. So we got ourselves the snakeskin chaps and the adamant plate legs. Looking at both of them, snakeskin, best in slot for ranged, and the adamant plate legs, best in slot for our melee. This is going to be our best in slot ranged for now, until I get myself 46 ranged for the adamant crossbow. But we are going to go do bull sharks because right now it's 6:42 p.m., which means a little bit over an hour ago it passed midnight UTC time. And that means the bull shark task list on this notice board has been refreshed and is now there on the bottom right. Accept task, and now I'm gonna go kill my 3 bull sharks, my daily 3 bull sharks, and I got 2 rune daggers in this trip when I struggled to get 1 in like 93 KC. It's funny how RNG works in this game. Are we lucky? No, we are not. Dang it. This is the last of my oak planks that I have in my inventory through all that salvaging I've been doing. So if I don't get the paints in this trip, then I will have to resort back to salvaging, which isn't the worst thing in the world. I already had to have done that anyway for the smithing grind. But of course, I would like to prefer to get this done and over with before I do that. Also, I am running out a lot of my bronze knives. I already used up around like 3,500. This is the last bit that I have, both cannonballs and oak repair kits. Task number 12, and yes! Yes! Number 12 out of 36. That's 1 in 3. That's a 33% chance. Roughly, not actually, but oh man. I'm so glad I'm not at the mercy of stupid refresh rates at the notice board. That could have been so much worse. Anyways, shark paint. That's a task done. I got myself 49 smithing banked, and that's about 2.2k bronze bars and 520 iron bars. 16 steel bars. I am 13 short of the 24 that I want. 5 of these are going to be dedicated to the steel plate body for the chunk task of this current chunk. I'm going to turn all these bronze bars into bronze knives, and these iron bars I'm still not quite exactly sure to put these onto. But yeah, I'll see you here in, this probably should take only a couple of hours, something like that, which is nothing compared to the 65 hours I just spent trying to get all this stuff. I do now have about 11,500, maybe 12,000, actually maybe 13,000 because I had a little bit left over last time, bronze knives. So that should be able to get me 7 levels of ranged to wield the adamant crossbow. And then for the rest of the raid through, I can have, I think I have maybe 5,000 or so iron bolts. There we go. I'm actually gonna finish up the iron bar here, make the bolts. And with this steel bar, I'm gonna use this anvil to make a, actually I'm gonna be very careful. It is a lamp frame, bullseye lantern, unfinished smith. And there we go, that is our final smithing task. Now, you might be wondering why I'm not making the steel plate body. That's because it requires 5 steel bars, and I do have 5 steel bars. It's just, however, that is quite a long time to get 5 steel bars. That's roughly 25-30 hours of salvaging on average. And what I'm hoping is that the Quizmaster NPC, the random event, he gives out mystery boxes if you do the minigame. And there's a 1 in 15 chance he can give me the steel plate body. Steel plate body is 5 bars, that's level 48. The highest skilling task, which is what I'm required to do, is the bullseye lantern frame. We already done that, so we don't have to make this through smithing. It's just obtaining it in any sort of way. The reason why I need it is because it's my best in slot for the chest, for my melee. Okay, I have 648k, I have plenty enough to do this. I probably will lose around 450k through getting a level 80 cooking. Not smithing, cooking. So Henderson behind this mast, I will buy 5 COD, my main will sell 5 COD, I buy 5 COD, main sells 5 COD. With this method, I'm not going to be banking, that saves time going from here to there, and also I'm not going to be hopping worlds, which as you may know, that does take quite a few seconds. Originally, with the older method of me hopping worlds from Henderson and then banking everything, that was probably going to take me about 25 to 30 hours to get level 80 cooking. Instead of 25 to 30, we're looking at more 12 and a half to 15, which is a huge time saver. With these 4 raw bass, I will get myself level 80 cooking, and I have 8 raw sharks from all the bull sharks that I killed. So let's get 80 cooking right now. At the end, I did average around 124k experience from 70 to 80 cooking. And there we go, 80 cooking. You now cook shark. These have about a 70-75% chance of cooking at level 80. So if I do burn all of these, that would be really, really sad. There we go, first one there. I still have 1, 2, 3, 4 more tasks, including the steel plate body. The other tasks are wield a U shield, which is 40 defense, 40 attack for a rune weapon, and then 46 range for an adamant crossbow. Those are going to be extremely quick. This only took me about 20 hours in total, which is really not that bad at all. So I'm going to be throwing myself down into the little dungeon here for a couple of hours, and then get myself, 7 more range levels, 10 more attack levels, 10 more defense levels. Might as well train my strength here too, because it would be really lame if I got 40 attack and 26 strength. Here is 46 range. We can now wield adamant crossbows. I'm going to finish off this kill real quick with my bronze knives. First and foremost, I do want to equip where is this? Right here. And this. Equip this. This is our best in slot ranged for the entire chunk. That is completed. Just finishing up my last bit of unfinished iron bolts that I made from the 49 smithing grind. I also did bury all of the, 2,000 bones. So now that I have 29 prayer, I can now have access to Hawkeye, Mystic Lore, and Steel Skin. The big problem is that I don't have access to any restoration of my prayer. No prayer potions, no super restores, no altars. And the closest altar that I have is right here in, whatever you want to call it, Mudskipper Point, or Remington, or Port Sarim. This church right here. And if I do unlock this chunk right here, I also do have to get 99 smithing, because this is where Thurgo lives. So it's a very double-edged sword. Here we are with 40 attack, and with that we can now equip rune weaponry, which of course means we can equip the rune dagger that we got a little bit ago. And if we were to compare the rune dagger and the adamant mace, it really isn't that huge of a difference. I mean, the stab bonus is 25 versus the crush bonus of 25. In most cases, it's actually the adamant mace that comes out on top for most monsters. But I guess if I were to go up against a monster, an NPC that's weak to stab or slash, then the rune dagger will be a better option, considering my best in slot weapons are, in terms of DPS, are a adamant mace and a rune dagger. We're in some pretty big trouble when it comes to our melee weaponry. So hopefully I can improve upon that before I roll Royal Titans, or God forbid the Inferno, before I can upgrade these weapons. And here we have the final level, going back to the bank. If we, there it is, U-Shield. U-Shield, equip, and that is the second to last task that I need to complete for the Pandemonium. So after thinking about it for a little bit, I think I'm just gonna roll the chunk now and deal with the steel bars later, because odds are that I get a steel plate body is extremely rare, and I feel like I'm just dancing around the fact that that very, very slim mod that I'll get the steel plate body, when I think it's just best now to smith the steel plate body. And there it is, our steel plate body that we can equip. It's a steel plate body. It's very good defensive bonuses for this early into the chunk account. It's our best in slot melee. Now that we have finished all 30 of our tasks, let's take a quick overview of our gear before we move on. Starting off with the gear, I would like to say that this is a bit of a mixed bag. Defensively, I'm pretty happy with how things are with the melee and range, but for weapons for melee and definitely magic are, they could use some work. Also, yes, you do see that correctly. The best in slot magic weapon for me is a rune dagger. That's because all daggers have a +1 magic attack bonus. Ideally, before I run into bosses, I would like to get some upgrades on those slots. The ranged combat style is the only one I feel pretty confident doing any form of PvM, but the issue would be a consistent source of ammo. After about 350 hours of gameplay, I did manage to get 6.1 million experience, 711 total levels gained, and as a little quick bonus fact, 40,798 small salvage has been collected and sorted through. Not bad for my first 350 hours, and as long as I get some better gear, I should be fine in the long term. With all that being said, let's begin the process of rolling our next... Man, what the fuck? What is this? Oh, hey, I was wondering if... Alright, I think I understand. Well, here goes nothing. Okay, here we are in the chunk picker, NWVV. There's a few things I want to point out before I start rolling my chunks. So I rank these from least bad to most bad. Least bad being this chunk right here. This chunk by itself is not bad. However, if I do reach this chunk through the means of getting this chunk as well and this chunk, that means I have access to the Asgardian Ice Dungeon, which means I have access to Royal Titans. The second worst, this red skull right here, is 99 smithing. It does have an upside of getting a altar, and the only time I'll be able to access this chunk is if I have access to this chunk right here and this chunk right here. The only ways I can trade 99 smithing right now is salvaging the exact way I got 49 smithing, and that took me 70 hours or something like that. And to get 99 smithing through salvaging bronze and iron bars, that's gonna take a extremely long time. This I realized I made a mistake. Okay, ignore this. Okay, there we go. This is the one that I'm really scared of, the Karamja volcano. The Karamja volcano, of course, has the fight caves, which may not be too terrible, but also the Inferno. I don't see myself doing the Inferno in terms of it being a possibility, because the weapons and gear I'll have there is going to be extremely limited. Also, again, not to mention that I have no prayer potions, no super restores, no purple sweets, no nothing, no ancients. The gear's going to be terrible. Not only that, but I also need to get the Inferno pet, which could take many attempts or many completions of the Inferno. So that's something I really want to avoid, and that's game over for this account if I do end up rolling the Karamja volcano. Going to down here in the quarry itself isn't terrible. It's just that if I somehow get on land through the ruins of Enka, if I dock here through the ruins of Enka, the quarry does require me to get 90 mining, which isn't the worst in the world, but I prefer not to get 90 mining with a bronze pickaxe. The reason why I need 90 mining is because the quarry right here is home to a shooting star. Shooting star that could be up to a tier 9 that you need level 90 mining to mine. And this gem right here, this is to where I can get the oak mass, to where I can access these seas to do the Barracuda trials, to do Barracuda salvaging, everything within these seas. So I really hope I do end up down here before I get over here. Let's say I roll this chunk right here, the bandit camp. Of course, I cannot access the land tile, and a majority of this chunk is land tiles. However, the reason why I'm able to roll this chunk is because of these sea tiles right here. And for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to call these short chunks. Number 4 and number 3 here, these are short chunks. I would also like to mention that if I do roll number 4, the Badabang camp right here and the quarry will be rollable automatically set by the chunk picker itself. I'm not going to allow myself to do that because I want to set a rule, and this is very important, to where I'm not going to allow myself to roll a shore chunk unless I have the adjacent sea chunk attached to it. That's to prevent, like this for example, I don't know, I'm pretty sure I can't get from the bandit camp chunk to the Bedouin camp chunk through this small sliver of space. It just makes it a lot easier. So in order for me to have that Bedouin camp chunk to be rollable, I need to unlock chunk number 1 first. And of course, same for the quarry. In order for the quarry to be rollable, I need number 6 to unlock, and that goes for every other short chunk within the map. Any inward land tiles, like actual land tiles, not the shore ones or the sea ones, but the more inland chunks, I will not be able to roll because I have no possible way of getting here. However, if I were to get the ruins of Anka and go up here, I could then have this as a potential to be rolled. But since I have no possible way of getting onto land, no possible way of walking into the chunk, this will not be rollable. I think that all makes sense. I hope it all makes sense. I know I just threw out a lot of information at you guys, but anyways, first rule of the account, and we get... Okay, number 5. So this chunk right here, if I hit calculate tasks, I'm gonna do can access to both of them. It's gonna say that I do need to get 39 construction for a steel cannon and a cook of marlin, but as I just showed you, I am not able to salvage the barracuda salvages because they're in hazardous waters. So because of that, I am going to put these 2 in the backlog. And trust me, I really hate putting things in the backlog, but the game itself physically does not allow me to do these chunks, or to do these chunk tasks. So anything Barracuda salvage related, I cannot access until I have this loom and spinning wheel right here, and then I can make an oak mast. Starting with sea charting the storm temper task 1. If I go here, it'll say find something trying to leech the power from the storm temper. So now I'm gonna head into the game and see if I can try and get this task completed. Okay, so how do I get back? Just woke up on my ship. My head hurts a little, but something tells me I need to go south. Looking at this new area, these lighter tiles right here are safe. I can sail across these no problem. However, if I go in this lighter area tiles, I cannot access them. When I enter this, I will take a lot of damage. I'm 110, I'll take around, I think it's 5 damage. But there is this lightning rod right over there. 10 damage actually, oh my goodness. Oh, this is actually really bad, and I need to dodge the lightning strikes. There is the lightning rod. I do need to chart, and hopefully I can get there without completely destroying my boat. Can I chart it? It's not safe to chart the hazardous waters your boat is not protected from. Oh my goodness, I can't even chart this. I can't do any tasks down here without the protection. Anyways, let me head back to safety and we can roll a next chunk that hopefully we can actually do something in. Huh. I'm getting a pretty strong sense of deja vu right now. I have been told by the higher-ups that this task right here is unable to be completed due to the waters, the hazardous waters. So this, unfortunately, will go into the backlog as well until this particular chunk. No fancy rolling or anything, we're just gonna rip the band-aid off. Next chunk is, okay, we have something to do. This is completable. Sea Charting Caridian Sea Task 2. I know this, I saw this when I was investigating in the first episode, when I was over here. I was just barely out of the range to be able to chart it, but now I can actually go in here and chart it. And as I said before, these inward land chunks, this number 7 right here, I am not rolling because I have no way of possibly accessing this chunk right here. So this is going to be disabled. Let's head over to this area and chart our task. So with this chunk, we are looking for the Pandemonium 2 wreckage. And looking around, it's a very simple find. It is this right here. Also, we do have much easier access to the bull sharks. We don't have to hover around the chunk area. But going over here, let's stop our ship. And then charting complete, find the wreck of Pandemonium 2 west of the Pandemonium. I could hover around here and chart this crash glider. That also fulfills the last Caribbean Sea charting and another Ardent Ocean charting thing. So we have completed the Caribbean Sea charting, and we got an additional 190 sailing experience, which is really nice. So that's really cool that we're able to chart the entire Caribbean Sea. If we do roll this chunk, the one right above us, I believe that's the only task. So if we do see, hey, chart the crash glider, we're not going to be rolling inside this chunk. It's already completed, already done, we just did it. Therefore, this chunk is complete, and we are now heading back to the chunk picker. Alright, here we are, back again. I know we're going very back and forth, but that's just how it is with these sea chunks. So we just charted the task 2 of the Caribbean Sea. That's done. 1 out of 1 active chunk task is completed. Now it is time to roll for our third chunk of the account. And that is going to be the Bandit Camp. In the first episode, there's only one task. I don't know why it's not showing here. Task 3 of the Caribbean Sea. We just charted all 5 tasks. I'll head over there right now just to prove it to you guys. I did it in the first episode. I don't know if I ever recorded the clip of it, but if you did hover over the chunk line right here, just like I did with the crash glider, you can just barely get the chunk task. I think it's like right here in this little crevice, or maybe like right here in this little crevice. Also, I do believe there is a impling spawn right around here, which is extremely important. Ninja implings, magpie natures completed the charting task already. And as I said before, the shore chunks that do not have the adjacent sea chunk unlocked, I am going to disable. We now have 6 possible chunk rolls. Ideally, I want to get number 3. Number 5, I don't want to be too upset about anything that leads me down more south and away from up there. But anyways, pick chunk. The node isn't terrible. It gives me another task in the Lumbridge Basin. Task 2, and that is find an unfortunate corpse on a small island southeast of Totoil Island. Southeast of Totoil Island, maybe right here. I'm already in the area, so I'm just going to quickly run up, complete the task, and then we can head back over here. The corpse should be somewhere along this little rock, if I could get behind it. There we go. Chart corpse. There we go. 1 out of 3 for the Lumbridge Basin. The rest of the basin is located over there, which I can access. That is the one and only task for this chunk. It's nothing really special. It's just where you find the group Ironman Tutorial Island area. So on the other side of the island, I have access to this area. So if I were to unlock this chunk right here, I can go from the Pandemonium, undock from here, go straight north, and then into here. If I didn't unlock the node, I would have to undock from the Pandemonium, go all the way down to the left, and then straight north. Which if I had to make constant trips to, let's say, Port Sarim or Musa Point, that would have been pretty annoying. So this offers a more direct route. Not the biggest discovery in the world, but it's a nice little thing that will save me quite a few seconds. Many minutes or even possibly hours in the long run if I'm constantly doing port tasks or something like that. Anyways, that's all that I have for the node. So let's go back to chunk picking. Rolling the next chunk. Nothing more to say with these current chunks. Picking chunk, and there is no current chunk tasks. There's nothing much here for me to explain other than it's the same thing. The Barracuda salvage that you saw, it's inaccessible because it's in the stormy waters, and I'm unable to get the stormy water Barracuda salvages until I get this area right here. With this being a more inland chunk, at least relative to the chunks that we have unlocked, I am going to disable number 6. Now, let's re-roll again because we have no current chunk tasks. So we do have 2 charting tasks, which shouldn't be too difficult. However, we are sneaking our way up here, which is not good. I don't like the sound of that. But yeah, let's go complete the 2 tasks. So back where we left off, the next chunk is right here. So thankfully we don't need to wrap around like I was talking about earlier. The 2 tasks, there's one right here, Wreck of the Salty Grouper. So let's quickly do this one right here. That is one task done. And the other task, I'm not sure. Oh, no, that's not it. Where could it possibly be? Looking over, is this it? Surely this is it, right? To the north, yes, Ada, I see. Oh, and a clam. Let's do this first of all, if I can. Oh yeah, there we go. This is the second task. Everything is in black and white because it's looking into a new chunk, but Spyglass interface was in the chunk I was in, so I assume that's the second task. I don't see anything else that's in here. Charting complete. Nothing fancy about this chunk, nothing crazy. More accessibility to the bull sharks leads me closer towards Port Sarim, which I really want to avoid right now. Other than that, let's head back to the chunk picker. No funny business, let's just pick chunk. Oh man, I really don't like this. Oh yes, sorry, I forgot to check off those two tasks, the mud skipper sound task we just did. But we do have an actual task that's not just charting anything. There are dolphins in the area that have a 1 in about 950 chance of dropping a echo pearl. So I'll be cannoning dolphins, which are much weaker than bull sharks, so it shouldn't take too long. But a 1 in 950 from a dolphin, I'll be here for maybe a couple of hours. Let's go into the game and see what it's like. So here we are in the new chunk, and there are these dolphins right here, level 25. They drop an Echo Pearl, which is a collection log slot, at a rate of 1 in 927. So I'm going to spend the next little bit here just seeing what I can do. These guys only have 50. Oh yeah, it's so over for them. I should be fine here. Ada's hitting 6s. I can't. Why does it always do this? Oh, there we go. Finally. Anyways, these guys shouldn't be any problem whatsoever. I'm hitting pretty decently on them, it seems like. Ada's doing fine. I got plenty of oak repair kits. Hopefully I do get spooned on this Echo Pearl because I really don't want to sit here for who knows how long. These guys also do drop water runes, some iron cannibals at a pretty decent rate. 6 hours into killing these dolphins, I have ran out of my bronze knives. Well, I have one more now. But I've effectively ran out of my bronze knives. I started out with, what, 12,000 or something? And I've gotten 300, that was my last one right there. I've gotten 368 kills of dolphins so far. So now, I don't exactly have a whole lot of bronze bars in the bank. Maybe about 30, 40 of them, which is not a whole lot. I could turn that into bronze knives, but I think it would be a lot better if I, A, watch Ada here shoot the dolphins, or B, I shoot the dolphins myself with the iron cannon. I think what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to use these bronze and iron cannonballs that I've been getting from the dolphins. They do drop a good decent amount of them, and I'll be using that on them, and the kills will be a little bit more slower, but I do have thousands of these cannonballs. So hopefully within the next couple of thousand cannonballs, I do get myself the Echo Pearl. Though I do wonder, hold on, watch this tactical genius play. If I order a Vitra Ada to go on the starboard side, and then she can fire upon that one, while I take this cannon and fire upon this one. Oh, what? I can't do that? Oh my gosh. So we both have to be attacking the same one, which sucks. I thought she can attack one and then I can attack the other, and that would hopefully speed up the process, but I guess not. Never mind then. 930 kills later, I ran out of ammo, both in terms of knives and cannonballs. Now I could buy cannonballs at the charter ship and the Pandemonium, which I'm gonna do right now. However, the thing is that I don't know how much I should buy. Now, with my level 57 ranged, which is quite the step up compared to before. It used to be 46, now it's 57. I now deal 7 damage per both iron and bronze cannonball. This is not a bad range training method, and it looks like I'm getting 11.3k an hour, which is not bad at all considering how AFK it is. Yeah, it's only 5 coins each, 250 a world. How much is it if I do this? Still 5 each. 13? Oh no. Okay, I just got myself 3,000 bronze cannonballs. That should last me around maybe 5 or 6 more hours at the Dolphins. Only cost me about 20k, which is definitely not bad at all. Oh my goodness. Alright, we're done. We have finished the chunk. We got ourselves the Echo Pearl. It did take me 1,551 KC. I did get myself level 62 ranged, which I started off with 46. That would be 16 levels. We have returned to the chunk picker. And if we cross this off, we have completed all of our tasks. These 2 were from the previous chunk that I just forgot to do. So let's not delay it. Let's roll our next chunk. And okay, there's nothing here. There's nothing new here. No task or anything. So with that bearing in mind, let's roll the new chunk. Okay, nice, perfect. Number 7, the quarry, is highlighted as caution. I don't mind it. It does nothing for me right now. But this chunk in particular, no monsters, no NPCs, item spawns, shops features, nothing, absolutely nothing. So a whole bunch of nothing we're getting right now. But it is filling out the map area to where it's not just 2 long corridors, which I do like. So it offers a little bit more exploration, a little bit more potential of getting around areas, which I do like for the long run. Moving on to the next role. Shipyard. We do have 2, I believe, tasks. If it'll load, 1 task. Completely chart the sea. I think I already did that. Of course, I can't access the actual shipyard. This is a charter ship, not a docking point. The land I cannot access. So crossing this off, 1 out of 1 task completed. Rolling our new chunk. Again, ideally, I'm really hoping I get a 1 or a 7. I want to unlock Temperos. I want to get down here for the loom and spinning wheel so that I can actually access this chunk and do Barracuda salvages and the Barracuda trials, which would be really nice. Without further ado, beautiful, awesome. I think that's another task. So sea charting Karazi Strait task 6. Which will be using the spyglass to get a good view of the cave in the Karazi jungle from the south. Alright, anything up here? Oh, I see. I don't know if I can do that. Not as close as you can get without actually leaving the chunk. Alright. It isn't safe to use your spyglass. Come on, man. That's so annoying. So that's another task sent to the backlog, which is really unfortunate. And a bunch of oak repair kits sacrificed to make that discovery. Let's head back to safe waters and roll another chunk. Another temper task, another backlog for us to deal with later on. Rolling the next chunk, we... Oh, no. Whoa. We got ourselves a task, though, we can complete. Really don't like number 10, though, with the way that it's looking at me. Alright, to the Bay of Sarim we go. We have arrived in the port of Sarim. This is it. This is the only place I can access so far. The task, though, is simply click Inspect Notice Board, and that's it. I can actually now do spice deliveries, light body deliveries. I don't know which one's better, but I can do deliveries of Argo from the Pandemonium and to Port Sarim, vice versa, which is nice, which is a lot better experience to what I was getting before in terms of sailing. Pretty decent shot at getting Soup, the sailing pet, which I think is a 1 in 6,000. If I dock right here, I think I can actually charter to the Pandemonium. Well, I don't have any money on me. What? I can't go. Okay, that's strange. I almost forgot. I would like to point out that I am separated by a couple of tiles away. So if I do roll this northern chunk right here, I will have access to be able to get onto this little area. make a U-turn, and then down into the ice dungeon, which I really do not want to do at this stage of the account. Next chunk, there we go. Thank goodness, oh my god. Temperos Cove is unlocked. However, big caveat, I cannot do Temperos yet. In order for me to do Temperos, I do need to unlock number 4 right here, and the Ruins of Unka. Because number 4 is this boat right here. That's the lobby area where you sit and wait for the place to fill up before you head over to the Temperos Cove. And the Ruins is the area right here at the very edge of this dock is where you get onto the boat. So in order for me to unlock Temperos, I need these 3 chunks all in order. But looking at everything, we have 2 new tasks. Tasks that I probably can't do because it's located in the Temperos Cove, which is filled with very spicy water, but I will, of course, go and check there myself, as I always have been. While making myself a bunch of these repair kits, I've actually decided to look up where this task wants me to go. Genius, I know, I should have done that in the first place, especially considering what the water does to me. But, the actual place I need to go, at least initially, is not here in the cove, strangely enough. It's right here on this very tiny island. And I'm not sure if I could do it because you do need to get a new device, which I do not have, but I think you could maybe obtain the device from some NPC, which I'm about to meet, which should be pretty interesting. This guy right here. You. Talk. Hello. Can I help you? You boat in ouchie water. Go be no. Come on. Go be no ouchie. It's not safe to set up weather station in hazardous waters that your boat is not protected from. I was hoping that would not be the case, but sadly it is. Let's repair my boat and get back to the chunk picker then, I suppose. So both of these tasks, which is really one, are going to be backlogged for now until I could help myself with the ouchie water. Which means we now have 0 available chunk tasks to complete, and that allows us to move on. Moving on to our next chunk, that being the Lumbridge Basin. There is a task here which, using my spyglass to get a good view of the western mine in Lumbridge Swamp from the south. Adding insult to injury, materials that I would really love to get. Get closer, 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 closer. Stop. Over here. And very nice. Really wish I had access to some coal. Mithril, adamantite. Really nice for the account. Lumbridge Basin completion 2 out of 3, which is probably be a little bit more, but that is the only accessible task for me currently in this chunk. Lumbridge Basin task number 3 is completed. 1 out of 1 chunk task is done, which means we are now eligible to roll for our next chunk. That chunk is going to be Quarry. Once I unlock the Ruins of Unka, I will need to believe it or not. I didn't believe it at first. I had to go here for myself and see, and it is true. Right outside the Shanty Pass here, there is a literal 1 tile gap between right here and right here to where I can reach the quarry. And the quarry, a shooting star landing site. This is the one and only shooting star landing site I will have access to. So once I get down here into the Ruins of Unka, I will have to mine a tier 9 shooting star, which of course requires level 90 mining. But that's not a problem for now. It's a problem for the far future, maybe. Depends on what we roll next. Speaking of rolling next... Okay. Anything that heads south down here, I'm more than happy to take. Even though it is a ouchie ocean type chunk, I don't think I'm gonna see anything or get anything from this Store Temper task 2, which is find the wreck of the desert drought south of Temperos Cove. But I'll go there and be 100% confirmed unable to do, as I have with every other chunk. So let's head on over. I only do these because I just want to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that these tasks are not able to be completed. I know or 99.9% of a fact that I will not be able to do this, but to prove otherwise would be great. It's not safe to chart using hazardous waters because your boat is not protected. Surprise, surprise, hopefully to no one. Now let's get back into safe waters and roll our next chunk. And unfortunately, throw this one into yet another backlog. Let's roll the next chunk for this account. Okay, nice. Everything is looking great right now. This task 2 temper task was the one I just tried to do. It didn't work with the desert trout. I forgot to check it off. So there's nothing new unlocked here. If we just unlock 2 and 8, we have access to Barracuda trials, kind of. We still need to get these 2 chunks right here. Since we have nothing to do, let's move on into the next chunk, and that chunk is perfect. Perfect. Nothing to do here. Same with the previous chunk. But we could have a lot of tasks on our hand if we do roll number 11. Most notably, Temperos, which I really want to do before I head over to Royal Titans because of the significant armor upgrades that I have and a very unconventional melee weapon, but still an upgrade nonetheless. Of course, I'm not opposed to unlocking number 7 and this chunk right here first, but I am very happy if I do unlock number 11. With that being said, no new tasks to be done. Let's move on. I'm hoping, I'm praying. No. First and foremost, the task I want to complete is salvaging station. Where's your salvaging station? I don't need to learn this place. Sort salvage? Me? Okay. Well, it doesn't have any salvage, but still gives me the charting task. And I really want to check out the Asgardian Ice Dungeon. Alright, taking a look at the dungeon, and yeah, I do want to go over here to go recruit Jobless Jim, who should be right here. Jobless Jim. Recruit Jobless Jim as a crew member, he heads off in search of your boat. Nice. That's Jobless Jim recruited right here. And now I think what I really want to do is head to Betty, or Jetty, or whatever this person's name is. Who are you? Betty, that's what it is. Betty, you can sell me a... what, blue or black? Blue or black? Let's go with black. Why not? All these type of runes I can buy and access. Most importantly, mine runes. With all these mine runes, I now have access to Windstrike. And I have a ton of air runes in my bank, which I don't know why I didn't bring those, but with this, I now have an actual magic attack bonus. And I do have a water bounty staff in my bank, which I also forgotten. Also, if I go to the northeast here, a farming patch, which I can buy a rake from. I believe they added in a recent update with the past 1 to 2 years. Won't be doing anything crazy. I'll just trade here. Might as well buy everything. It seems good for now. Break this, and this should give us a little bit of experience. There's our first bit of weeds, and that's another task completed. Yeah, a little bit of farming experience, not going to get me too many levels, but it's something to do in the meantime, something to keep track of. There's also Redbeard Frank, who will allow me to start a quest if I ask for him and search him treasure. Start Pirate's Treasure, yes. Talk to one of the Seamans to go to Karamja. Okay, I can't go to Karamja. Just as fast as it started, I am now ending the Pirate's Treasure quest. Oh, that was a quick 5 seconds of fun, which is also another task to get as far as I can within quests that I have. Here we are, live from the Asgardian Ice Dungeon with the post-game interview, and I thought about everything for the past few minutes, and I don't think this chunk is as bad as I initially thought. I'm sitting here trying to train my magic to level 30 so I can stop auto-casting and be able to use my water battle staff that I had from bull shark kills from a while ago. The full task list will be updated on my chunk map. If you are watching this around the time this releases, you can go ahead and look at that right now. After coming up with a bulletproof game plan, next video I will explain fully how I plan on taking on this entire chunk. And there is a lot for me to research on how to conquer this chunk, and I got here a lot earlier than I anticipated, but I suppose that makes the journey that much better. So I'll see you on the other side.